The wilderness has been home to many moneymakers in the past. Whether it be killing green dragons, mining rune rocks, slaying Wildy bosses, or killing revenants, the Wildy has always tried to give moneymakers with a high-risk, high-reward incentive. In today's moneymaker, I'll be pushing high-risk, high-reward to its limit, as I'm going to be risking nearly 200 million GP at 46 wild in multi-combat. This is the Fountain of Rune. Released in the year 2014, this piece of wilderness content was largely overlooked by most of the community. Its two main properties were charging amulets of glory and giving you an unlimited supply of any rune, with the downside of not receiving any magic XP when casting spells. For the longest time, the only purpose this place served was for bots to high alch rune arrows. That is, until today. While holding down on the spacebar and using a semi-precise clicking method, you can use the Enchant Bolt spell once every single game tick. And since there's 5,760 game ticks in an hour, that amounts to 57,600 bolts enchanted. However, due to the finicky nature of this method, realistically you'll get around 50 to 53,000 bolts in an hour. If you were to do this normally with the Ruby Enchant spell, you would receive around 330,000 magic experience hourly, but the cost of your runes cuts into the profits, and I'm already 99 magic on this account, so let's go to the Fountain of Rune instead. Okay, so this is the setup we're rolling with. I'm not going to be bringing a teleport because I will use the Amulet of Glory for that. All in all, comes out to around 348 range defense bonus in the 310s for melee, and then 158 mage defense when I have the Carol's leather skirt on. Let's go. Drop this, and let the timer begin. It's been a while since I've done this, but pretty sure you just gotta click every 0.6 seconds. So I've pretty much gotten to the point now where I am not messing up, well, except for right there. Basically, in order to do this, I'm just using the same method I do for prayer flicking. I click it once to turn it on, and then I double click every 0.6 seconds, and so far it's been working pretty well. So far I haven't seen anybody yet, which is honestly what I was expecting. There is not much of any activity here besides bots trying to alch for a little bit better margins, which is actually why I think they decided to make the delay of logging out after you use a spell here, because bots would just insta-log as somebody would log in. So hopefully that doesn't screw me over, that new update, but I really doubt I'm going to see anybody, and if I do, it'll just be a solo PK or maybe two guys, but not an entire clan. It's certainly a little bit more finicky than prayer flicking. I'm going off of completely by sounds. I'm going off this by sounds, and it feels like a much smaller window to actually keep it consistent, unlike prayer flicking is. But just like with prayer flicking, once you get it down, you're usually doing it most of the time. I'm saying as I am constantly messing up here. All right, there's the 10-minute mark so far, and we've made almost 8,000 bolts. Oh boy. Ooh, okay, that wasn't a PK. I don't think that was a PK, but honestly, scary to see anyone when you're risking 200 mil in the wilderness, especially this deep wild. All right, and that is 11,000 of the bolts enchanted in 14 minutes. So that is the GE cap if you wanted to just do this and get the buyout limit and head up here. Take you about 14 minutes, and you should still make around, I think current prices would be about 2 mil GP off for that. Or maybe a little less, maybe around 1.5, but still, for 14 minutes work, not bad, and you don't have to risk nearly as much. The noises that this makes is starting to wear on my brain. Just constant chiming noises. I'd honestly rather listen to High Alchemy. Alright, and we are exactly 20 minutes in now, with 16,700. Alright, just coming up on the 30-minute mark, halfway there, and we are at 26,000 Ruby bolts enchanted. So we're on pace for around 52,000 actually. With quite a few mistakes and even a logout, it's really not that unlikely that you could hit around 53, maybe even 54,000 if you were uninterrupted and you had better clicks than I did. I'm starting to wish I put some music on before I did this so I didn't have to listen to chiming for an entire hour and nothing else. At the very least, I got the pretty HD client to look at. I just love how much more atmospheric Wildy is with this HD client. The fog is just so nice. And the water too. 20 minutes left to go. 35,000 bolts made. I have a very strong feeling with around 5,000 bolts left that a PKer is going to come. Not a clan, just a sole PKer to kind of skew this hour a bit. And with just 10 minutes left to go, we are at 43,900, 6,000 bolts to go. I've been making around 8,000 or 9,000 an hour, so that should be no problem. There we go. There we have it. With 3 minutes, 30 seconds left on the timer, we have enchanted 50,000 ruby dragon bolts. Let's get the hell out of here. Alright, I am super excited to see the returns on these 50,000 bolts, so let's head to the GE. I'm also going to calc and see how much I really would have got if I went the entire full hour. 3 minutes and 30 seconds left. I probably could have made another 2,000 bolts. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and throw these into the GE. Now, a note here is that I bought those regular unenchanted rubies about 4 days ago, I want to say. And they were 3,100 GP at the time and have skyrocketed since. Next is coming out. So a lot of this is going to be a merch and I'm going to make a ridiculous amount of money, but I will calculate it and see what I actually would have made if I had done this all in one day. I'll leave this offer in for about 5 minutes. Oh, we made about, okay. Yeah, no, we're buying. We're buying. I'll leave this offer in for a few more minutes and see if it keeps going at that price. And there we have it, 189 million GP. Pretty good. It only took about 1 hour to sell all of those 50,000 enchanted ruby dragon bolts. Of course, I'd love to tell you that this moneymaker is 34 million GP an hour, considering I did buy the original ruby bolts for 155 million for the 50,000. But that was a few days ago when they were 3,100 GP. They're now a lot more than that. So excuse me for a moment as I try and figure out and calculate exactly how much GP an hour it is currently. All right, hello, this is Future PP, taking a look at some of the price graphs and something very interesting. The buy price of regular unenchanted dragon ruby bolts, 3,753. And then a sell price of the enchanted version, 3,975. That is a difference of 222 GP. So even after we adjust for the tax, which is around 40 GP, that's 182 GP per bolt. Now, since I had a couple of minutes left after I finished with my 50,000 bolts at the Fountain of Rune, I'm going to imagine you could pretty easily get 52,000 enchanted in a single hour. And that comes out to a total GP profit of 9.46 million GP. That is a better moneymaker than anything in RuneScape. I think that even beats Efficient Theater of Blood and Nightmare. That is insane amounts of money. Now, I'm hoping that my math isn't off anywhere here, and I don't believe it is, but I gotta be honest, to see something that is this good of a moneymaker in the wilderness just brings a smile to my face, because I always feel like this is what Wildy should be about. It should be the best place in the game to get money, because you're risking so much of it, and you certainly would be risking a lot if you're trying to go for 52,000 enchants in one go. Now, the last question is, do I recommend this moneymaker? Of course I do. You know how much money I'm going to make next week when I PK all these kids trying to do?